Well, good morning, good afternoon or good evening, whenever you're watching this video. Welcome to or welcome back to my e-bike adventures. Well, I was hoping to deliver another in search of the perfect roast, but unfortunately this weekend we got gale force winds and rain, so I've had to rethink my plans. Anyway, as you can see, we're actually approaching. This is actually a cycle path, but as you can see, it's not very cycle friendly. But on the map, it's actually designated as a cycle path. Would you believe it? And if I'm honest, there's a lot around the southeast of Kent that state on Google Maps that they're cycle paths, and when you get to them, you're presented with those gates, or even worse. So I'm not sure if Google Maps is getting it wrong, or, you know, there's literally nowhere to find out who's right and who's wrong. But that gate only went up a few years back, so yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a difficult one to sort of quantify whether, you know, who's in the right. And if I am in the wrong, I've obviously, you know, I don't want to be in the wrong. I'll walk my bike through here if that's the case. But, you know, I'm not going particularly fast. There's no adjoining pathways that someone could suddenly leap out at me from. This is literally just a straight run down to the bridge that's going to cross the M20. So yeah, unfortunately I can't bring you the second part of In Search of My Perfect Roast Dinner. That's because weather has essentially played a huge part in this. Oh, it's so noisy going over the M20. Oh no. And I got a huge, great puddle in front of me. Well, not huge, but it's a bit muddy. And I kind of wanted to get away from getting mud on my tyres, because they can flick up and, you know, get on my camera lens. And I just heard a little ping, so I'm going to get off my bike for a second. I just need to... No. I thought my other camera had ceased recording, but it's still going, thankfully. I mean, it should be, they're all fully charged. So, anyway, it is quite a pleasant day today for the most part, especially when you're in the sun. Out of the sun, not quite, but you know, it's not too bad. But I'm heading up to Westwards today. I'm on my XF 900, which has cadence sensor, and the cadence sensor is just a little bit easier to climb hills over a torque sensor. And I don't have a rack on this bike, so essentially I've got everything in my backpack, including my fire pit and my chair. And with all that extra weight on my back, I thought, you know what, let's make this as easy on myself as possible. Oh, look at this. The leaves are all starting to turn from green to brown, and then they'll go yellow soon. But these colours are absolutely beautiful. And they will continue to get even more beautiful as we head further into autumn. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you again, sir. Look at this respect. See, this is how you pass a cyclist, if you can. You know, there is no rule in the UK. So, yeah, let's talk about that actually. So, there's a lot of people that think at the moment that a car driver should be giving a cyclist 1.5 meters when they pass them. This is guidance only. It doesn't mean that they have to, because obviously there's some situations where they just can't, you know? So cyclists really need to stop all this silly BS about cars need to give them 1.5 meters all the time. It's a guidance note, nothing more. Because there's not always going to be situations where a car can give you 1.5 meters. But to be honest, I think for the most part, it's our lycra clad racing cyclists that seem to be pushing that agenda. Oh, look at this view over here, it's beautiful. Oh, what an absolute beautiful day it is today. Although I am wearing a jumper, I know that, because no doubt when I get into the woods and under the canopy of the trees in the shade, it's going to be a bit chilly. Another nice little downhill. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep those wheels a-rolling. Rawhide. I'm not a very good singer. That's why I opted to play the synthesizers. Boing! Wow, what a lovely little run here. Right, we're just coming into Limminge. Minge, as it's I've heard a few people call it locally. sure the locals don't like their village being called Minge. It's a beautiful day, hey, hey. Right, pedal assist 2. Let's climb this hill. Let's climb this hill with ease. And then go down the hill with even greater ease. But yeah, that is the one thing about coming down a hill, especially in the southeast of England. It generally means you've got another one to climb. Unless you're constantly on your way to the coast. And then as you get nearer the coast, you get a lot more downs than ups. So also another video that I'm going to be doing soon is one about, I've been meaning to do this actually for a long time, and I did do a very short TikTok video that I went into about how to lock up and how to secure your bike, but it was literally a 1-minute video, so it was very quick, short, no time to explain anything. So I'm gonna go over that topic in another video, because I think it's really important. When I used to work in customer services for an e-bike company, I always remember this one, because essentially I had a gentleman that bought his bike. He built his bike, he took it down to the local shop for his first ride, went in to buy himself a packet of cigarettes or something, came out and his bike was gone. And I think that was an £1,800 e-bike that he sat on and rode for no more than 5 minutes. Which is, you know, I really felt for the guy. God dear. I mean, no matter how, you know. But you know what he had? He had one of them silly little combination locks. And those things just, wow. When I was 7 or 8, I think it was, and I was taking my bike to school, as kids do quite often in the UK back then. I'm not sure if they do so much now, but oh man, I was a bit of an airhead, you know. There was so much space in between my ears back then. I didn't really retain things like combination lock sequences, and obviously I kept forgetting the number. And obviously I'd leave my bike at school in the bike shed, because if you can't remember the combination lock number, you can't get into it. So I got a little bit fed up with, I actually do when you're a kid, you know, Man, my mum and dad are always moaning at me. Man. Anyway, so to stop myself getting moaned at, I learned how to open a combination lock without ever remembering any number. And as I said, that was age 7 or 8. It's certainly not the only person in the world. There was loads of kids at my school that did the same. And really, it kind of meant that combination locks are somewhat pointless and really, really easy to break into. All right, I'll go back and... Oh, it's a bit late to put your hazards on now, mate. You'd already pulled out. Oh. I like being a cyclist 'cause I'm invisible. So yeah. My mum and dad stopped moaning at me because I could break into a combination lock. Well, I never told them that's what I was doing, but in reality I was breaking into my own lock to get access to my bike. So, you know, you've got a $1,000 plus bike. It doesn't matter how many combination locks that you put on that bike. Anybody, pretty much everybody and anybody knows how to bypass those silly combination things. And not only that, the cable that they have is so thin you could probably cut them with some wire cutters because they're not very good at all. Oh. Right, here we are at Westwoods. So yeah, if you've got a £1,000 plus bike, you know, and let's face it, anything cheaper, well, it doesn't matter, does it? You know, you really, really should take care. Do you want to walk past? I'll stop. You sure? All right, okay. I'll go slowly though, because I know they'll probably...
Thank you.
Thank you as well. Have a lovely day. But yeah, you know, my advice on locks before we get into the video, I would say buy a lock that's 10% the value of your bike at least. So if you've got a £1,000 bike, you want a £100 lock on that. And really, if I'm honest, I'd say some occasions, or for the most part even, 2 locks is what you need rather than just one. Now this is the trouble, because it's been raining a lot. there's not huge amounts of drainage in this area, so I might actually come across some big puddles, deep mud, or mud. Oh, I love mud. And here we are, my first bit of mud. Now, have I come into the right bit? Oh, I hit a root on my pedal. I say root, I think that was a tree stump, not a root. Although there are plenty of big roots sticking out of the ground, up and over a big log. So I am coming the right way, because it's that log that kind of tells me I'm going the right way. Oop. And then up this big bank. Whoop. Oh. Wow. I know I've got my sunglasses on, but it's very dark. Again. Oh, yuck. Oh, don't put your foot down in it, Glenn. Oh my goodness. All I can feel is my back wheel just constantly sliding away. Right, let's go down here. I think we'll just have to be in the shade. But it's all right, because I've got a fire pit and I can use that to keep me nice and warm, essentially. Right, I think we'll head down into this little corner and see if that's going to be suitable. And you know what, I'm even thinking, let's hide ourselves away in this dark, well, it's not really much any darker than anywhere else. Right. Oh my goodness, the ground is so soft I can even feel my shoes are on the ground, I can even feel them sinking. Right, I'm so glad I brought the chair. Right, as always, I'm going to set up and I'll catch you guys, as always, in a bit. Right, well, as you can see, I've set my fire pit up I've got my kindling that I've brought with me, because I wasn't so sure about if there'll be any dry wood here. Anyway, I do need to go and start processing some wood. So we'll leave that there for a minute. Let's go get some more wood. Right, well, I found a couple of reasonably sized logs. They're just, I'll be honest, the forest floor is just full of them. So I need to process some wood so that we can get some nice coals on our fire pit and so we can start cooking. So let's get my saw. Oh. Wonderful. Ka-ching. Now I'm ready for the wood. Right, I've got my bushcraft knife. Let's start splitting some of this wood. All right, well, as you can see, this isn't the best wood, but there's a lot that is lying on the forest floor, but it's quite damp, so splitting it should help quite a bit. Okay, right, as you can see, I bought some dry kindling from home. I've made a base under here, and then essentially I've got some twigs, and now I've moved it, it's all gonna go wrong, isn't it? So I've formed a cross section, and then essentially I'm just gonna build this up, making sure that the exposed wood is what's gonna essentially touch the flame. Hopefully the flame, or what I'm hoping for, is that the flame's going to come up and set light to this. This is all going to drop down onto that wood, and then hopefully we should get some coals a bit quicker. I'm not going to mess around with my bushcraft knife today. We'll just light this with a lighter. Pop that in there. Actually, I might move that. Right, hopefully that should do its job. Right, so today I brought some vegetables with me. I've got some nut mushrooms, which are good for iron. Broccoli again, good for iron. And sprouts, apparently good for iron. So, and obviously then I've got a few carrots in there as well for my veg. But we'll start processing this down and get this cut up into more manageable bite-sized pieces. Right, I think that'll do for my veg. Right, let's pop my skillet on here and we'll get that warmed through. Pop a bit of oil in. You'll have to excuse the smoke. Essentially, it is because I'm using damp wood, so there's a little bit more smoke. Wind constantly seems to be changing direction as well, so no matter where I put my camera, it just keeps heading for it like a magnet. Let's do a sizzle test. There we go. We are indeed sizzling away. So let's pop our veg in. Okay, right, so I've got some fresh rosemary here. So let's just take all that rosemary off the main stem. We don't really want these stalks, so we're just taking off and I'm just gonna cut through some of these rosemary stems. It'll help to get the flavour. Right, I'm going to transfer that. Wonderful. That's everything in there. Give it a bit of a mix up. Oh, don't you just love the sound of that sizzle? Lovely. Right, let's get that off the heat. But today I have a ribeye steak. Lots of lovely blood. Because this is high in iron. Let's get this steak unstuck. Because I don't really want to be cooking this for too long. Because I do like my steak somewhat rare to medium. Actually, let's take off some of these sprigs. Right, I think that'll do. So I'm going to transfer that to my plate. What I'm going to do is just quickly pop on my veg, just to give that a little bit of a heat through. And then we can begin this this mighty feast. Now, I don't know about you, but that, for me, is absolutely beautiful. Right, grub up. Bon appetit, everybody. Oh. Well, I didn't bring any drink making facilities with me. I brought a nice little thermos flask and didn't bring a cup with me. So this will be my little cup. It's about, I don't know, it looks like a sip to me. Anyway, I'm going to have that in a bit. Let's tuck into my steak and veg. Oh, this looks lovely. Mmm. Oh, you know, I could get used to this high iron diet. Mmm. Broccoli is really nice, not soggy. I've used the term before. It's called al dente, which is kind of how vegetables should be cooked. And al dente means crisp. So your veg should be cooked crisp, not soggy, wet, loss of colour. You know, we've all been there. We've all been to a restaurant where your peas are this light green, almost yellowy tinge to them. Or, you know, that rosemary as well is really, really kicks. Mmm. I feel it's time for a sip of coffee as well. Now I could have essentially made, oh my goodness, I can't even open it. Oh, it's so tight. There we go, that's better. It's probably because it's new. Right, let's see if this is a sip of coffee. No, I think there's 2, possibly 3 sips. Oh, still really hot as well. Very nice. And saved me, I can't remember who it was, Stuart maybe, Stu, that may have suggested getting a flask instead of bringing out my Takana stove and water essentially. Yeah, it's a cool idea. Flasks do give a bit of an odd taste to your drink, so that's the only thing I'd say. Ah, lovely. But if you are limited on space, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. 500ml bought today. Haven't even taken the labels off. Look, I'm so lazy. Right, let's continue on. But isn't this marvelous? You know, being out. I've probably said this 100 times, but there is something really quite magical about coming out somewhere. I can hear a distant, faint white noise of, I think there's a motorway about 1.5 miles, 2 miles away over that way. And I can kind of just hear the white noise of that. But apart from that, and the odd occasional plane that goes overhead, it's so quiet, beautiful. So I really need to get myself as well a book on mushrooms, or a book on wild mushrooms, because I keep coming out to places like this and I keep seeing all these different mushrooms that are coming up out of the ground, and that would be really nice, wouldn't it, you know, to be able to come out, pardon me, and essentially cook up some, oh dear, some fresh wild mushrooms. But I'll take a couple of shots of the 2 different mushroom varieties that I've seen just around here. Perhaps if someone can identify them and someone knows what they are, then let me know. Write them in the comments. Are they edible? Or rather, every mushroom is edible, isn't it? But it's whether it's good for you or whether it's bad for you. But it'd just be interesting to know if any of my viewers, any of you lot, do actually know anything about wild mushrooms. Right, well, that's going to do it for another week. Thank you ever so much for coming along for the ride. If if you've got this far, well done. Thank you ever so much. As always, thanks to everybody that watches my videos, whether you like, subscribe, comment. Comments, my apologies. For some reason, I don't seem to get full notifications on all my videos of when somebody posts a comment. So I think I'm on about 58 videos at the moment. It's almost an impossibility to go through every single video every week and look, see if someone has commented. So my apologies. I'm going to blame YouTube because it's their platform and they're supposed to send me a notification when somebody comments so that, you know, I can do the polite thing and respond. So my apologies if you have commented on any of my videos and it looks like I haven't replied. It's not really the route I wanted to take. I wanted to be able to reply to everybody really, so I don't know what I need to do to fix that, but yeah, it's something I'm definitely looking into as well. But yeah, so a big thank you to everybody, whether you like, subscribe, you come along, you watch one video, or you know you're a regular, you know, like me. But yeah, if you've as I said, I'm going to be covering bike security in an upcoming video. I'm not sure when, and also we will be going back to obviously my search for the perfect roast dinner for bikers as soon as the weather allows that to happen. As I said, it's we've got rain and gale force winds this weekend, so that kind of puts that out, to be honest. And as I live on the coast, you can imagine the winds are definitely a lot stronger on the coast than they are inland. Anyway, but anyway, I could yibba yabba all day, as some of you all know. Anyway, which is strange because I'm normally quite a quiet guy, and it's really odd being out here on my own, talking to a camera. Now I know that's not the end product, but it does feel kind of a bit strange talking to myself out here. But anyway, you know, it is what it is. I'm loving it. Hopefully some of you are too. Well, obviously a few of you are, because you know, I'm not sure, 350 subs. Yeah, I'm really pleased. Channel's going really well. Your support has always been very welcome. Anyway, I'm going to stop yabbering. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you all again next week for a new adventure. Take care, ride safe, bye bye. Whee!